Hi, welcome to Cardboard Swords, and we are back with another Chalk and Talk. It's been a hot minute.
Has been a while. I'm all right. I'm still playing Flesh and Blood, obviously.
Yeah, that's good. Actually, you're playing it quite well.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. That's what I get told anyway.
So we're just going to go over a few things. We're going to have a general catch up, talk about the Calling Liverpool, Road to Nationals, about heavy hitters. We'll talk about the meta. We'll talk about some top cards. We've got loads to get through. So, heavy hitters is out. Everyone's talking about it. We've had the limited calling that we played in. 2 limited callings overall.
3 if you count
one
the
that we played in. How are you finding the set?
Heavy hitters is great. Heavy hitters is a return to form, I think. It's been a while since we've had a set that everyone's kind of all agreed on that has been good. Obviously, we had Uprising was a decent set. Its limited play was a little bit lackluster. You just force fire. Then Dynasty obviously was okay. Obviously brought us the assassin class.
It wasn't draftable.
If we're just talking about draftable, then we've had
as like a set in limited.
Oh, okay.
I guess set overall. So yeah, an impact on constructed.
Yeah, because obviously not everyone's.
Let's not talk about the expansion.
Okay, sure. I think they've done away with those now. Anyway, I think we're just going for core sets.
Yeah.
But
you've got the expansion slot, so it fills the same role.
Since Uprising, we've had Outsiders and Bright Lights, and now Heavy Hitters.
Yeah.
Outsiders was decent sealed, decent draft. People weren't unanimously, like, I can't say
unanimously.
Thank you, Rob.
You're welcome.
Happy with it, but it was okay. It was like definitely a good start, and it also brought us dual class cards, which are very important for a sealed play. Because obviously it gives those cards multiple uses in multiple decks.
Personally, I thought Outsiders was great. I thought it was a really good, solid set. Like it had a big impact on constructed formats.
Yep.
Introduced
new Ranger like a class.
Yeah, introduced new heroes to the game.
Yeah.
Successfully. You know, Azuri has posted results since.
Yeah.
Was a pretty good limited set. You know, okay, sealed. Yeah, sealed was all right. It was okay.
Sealed's never going to be perfect.
Sealed's never been great.
Yeah.
I mean, heavy hitters maybe an exception. Good draft set as well. Quite a nuanced draft, quite a high skill draft. I thought Outsiders was pretty awesome, to be honest.
Yeah. I thought Outsiders was definitely a good sealed set. Definitely good limited. Then we went to Bright Lights, which definitely had 2 camps. People who loved it and people who absolutely detested it.
Yeah.
So early on, the format was claimed to be Force Techlo. You just played every card in your deck that you could, some evos, and you outvalued your opponent. You had to know better card value, and you used that to your advantage and won the game. It developed a little bit. Sealed was basically Force Techlo, unless you had an amazing set of cards for either Max or Dash. You just Force Techlo. If you had at least 4 evos, you would just play Techlo. However, draft is where the nuance came. Draft is always where the nuance is going to come.
Yeah.
And we found that if you knew what you were doing, you could definitely take a free pod with Dash.io or Dash Database, a younger version, and you could take Max by just outvaluing what your opponents can block.
Yeah, agreed. And the World Championships showcased that pretty well, I thought. Yuki doing amazingly with Dash.io. I think she 3-0'd twice with Dash.io and draft or something. And, Max doing well in that format as well. It was more nuanced than people originally thought. And I thought it was a good set. I guess if you're not into mech, and you don't like the cyberpunk thing and the kind of fantasy, I can see, some people's kind of qualms with it, but personally I thought it was a really good set.
Well, for the people who had qualms with just mech, that's where the expansion slot came in.
Yep.
And the expansion slot has done a great thing for sealed Flesh and Blood. Is first off, they've taken legendaries out of the draft pool, so you can no longer hit Phantasmal Footsteps, a Carrion Husk in your draft. Is in the expansion slot.
Why'd you pick 2 cards from Monarch where they're not in the expansion slot?
No, because I'm saying you can't. Back in Monarch, if you pulled a Footsteps or a Husk, you could draft it.
Yeah.
So I'm saying now
you
all legendaries are no longer
because they're in that slot.
Yeah, they're in the expansion slot. It also means that classes that are not necessarily involved in the set can be supported upon and given more cards legal for the tournament pool in the opponent's slot, like we saw with Dromai, with Tome of Imperial Flame. Now that card is obviously intended for Emperor.
Is it?
Yeah, well, that's what the designers will tell you.
Okay.
It's designed for Emperor because he starts off as Royal, so you get to draw 2 cards, pitch 2 cards, and it's a 1-card Command and Conquer. Obviously, Dromai takes that and goes, okay, I'll run Crown Dominion and turbo the fuck out of dragons and draw loads of cards, make a load of ash, and just outvalue.
Okay.
We also saw cards like, what's it called? Emboldened Blade, I believe, which is it's a warrior card that I think we'll see play very soon with heavy hitters releasing.
Yeah.
Which is you flip over the opponent's arsenal, and if it's a D-react, you destroy it, and your weapon gains +1.
For the record, Heavy Hitters has released.
Sorry, I'm talking too much about Bright Lights. Sorry.
No, that's all right.
Speaking of heavy hitters,
Yeah.
I think Heavy Hitters is definitely the best sealed experience I've played.
Yeah.
It's the best draft experience I've played, and it is honestly one of the best sets I've seen released in my time so far. I've only seen about
In your
four
time.
or 5.
So, but you were playing since Uprising.
Correct. Yeah.
Which
Uprising was my
which
first
a
set.
bad draft. And then there was
Yeah, it
no
was
draft for ages.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see that, yeah. Yeah. I mean, Tales of Aria is a pretty good draft.
But yeah. Heavy is definitely a return to form. I think it's revitalized people's enjoyment of Limited from Bright Lights, and the heroes are all pretty interesting, pretty diverse.
Yeah.
You've got Kasai.
Kasai's really
Coming
fun.
back
Really
to
good
Blitz
design.
formats after Living Legend thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You've got a new KO who doesn't revolve around rolling a d6 every attack. His head he does still have
He
cards
still has
that roll,
yeah.
so you can still play the old one.
Yeah.
You've got Rhinar coming, which unfortunately no one plays.
Yeah, it's not the powerhouse people thought it was during spoiler season, is it really?
No, unfortunately Rhinar in Limited requires too many specific cards to go off.
Yeah.
You look at your Brute cards, if you think you're Rhinar, you're playing KO.
You're probably KO.
You're playing
Yeah,
KO.
I think so, yeah.
Then you obviously got the new
I said
Warrior.
this quite early on, didn't I? So I don't see a scenario where you ever play Rhinar with the insane. Unless you are, you literally have to have all the specs and the equipment and everything to even consider it.
It's a really tough pool to have.
Draft is a different kettle of fish, maybe, but
yeah. We've got Olympia, so new Warrior to the pool.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see what people do with it, with him. I think
What, constructed or
yeah. I think he'll lean more to like a Bolton kind of play, where you play weapons and you play attack actions.
Yeah. Feels like he needs a bit more. He needs something else a little bit. He's beefing out.
Yeah, he just needs a couple more cards. So I mean,
Yeah.
the gold is the payoff for him, because you can pitch blues into them and keep drawing, and you will eventually get more cards on your side.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're waiting to see what he can do. Then you got Betsy, which unfortunately in constructed is just a worse Bravo.
Yeah.
It's definitely waiting for
Sadly.
Bravo to LL.
Yeah. Yeah. But nevertheless, impactful in constructed, in the constructed game. Really great limited set. Yeah, it's a strong set. People are enjoying it. Card value is good, And we were on about cards, thinking about some cards. I asked to pick three, I think I said.
Yeah.
3 key cards from the set that you think are gas and people should pick up.
Okay.
Go
So
on.
first off,
I'll pop them on the screen as well. So.
I played in my RTNs this weekend. Standing order.
Standing order.
0 for 4, block 3. Has the effect of when you block with it or attack with it, you can put a card from your arsenal to the bottom of your deck, and it gains +2 attack and +2 defense.
Cool.
So
It's pretty good.
on the surface, it doesn't have go again. But it's a 0 for 6, or it's a block 5, or it's a popper.
Right.
All for the cost of your arsenal, which everyone who's playing Crown of Providence is used to using their arsenal for gain.
For gaining blocks.
It's effectively
anyway.
the same thing.
Yeah.
It just
Okay.
doesn't draw a card. But that leads on to my second
It
card.
just doesn't draw a card.
Yeah, it just
That's
doesn't.
pretty
It just doesn't.
but it attacks effectively. It's
Blocks for 5 in one
seems like a
card,
good
so it gets around Dominate as well.
Yeah. Seems good. Seems like a good card. Next one.
Um,
Pick number 2.
So,
Chris Chalk's
pick number
top of
two.
the pops.
I think we have to acknowledge Luminaris number 3. Angel's Fury. Is it Angel's Fury? Yeah, because the other one's Celestial Rage or whatever. So the second one, irrelevant.
Ranger Player's Fury.
Not real. First one, gone.
Yeah.
This is the one that I believe has been claimed that they were originally testing with and they thought was too good.
This one, the one
Yeah.
that okay.
So when Brian Gottlieb was like, you guys are just missing the point, that Prism is gas,
Yeah.
it was a case of, wait for this one to come out.
Okay.
Then she's gas. Also, you saw Rob Cowan win the Bauharden with her. At
Yeah.
definitely requires a lot of nuance to play. There's a lot of interactions with instant speed effects, flipping angels,
Illusionist players love
Spectra.
that. They love all that. Spectra.
Hell yeah, I do. I wish I could play Spectra and Joy Mine, but I can't.
Oh, I'm glad you can't.
Give me a Dragon Riff. Give me a Dragon Riff Spectra.
Disgusting.
And then number 3.
Pick number 3.
Number 3. This is hard because there are a lot of
There
good
are a
cards.
lot of very good cards.
Your cards like Cast Bones.
Yeah.
You've got all the wind-ups, all the like, especially
Agile wind-up's good.
Blade Flurry. +2,
Yeah.
+2, but I think I have to give my third one to a legendary piece, which is Balance of Justice.
Okay, yeah.
So Balance of Justice is a very similar thing to Crown of Providence. It blocks 2 and draws a card. However, the condition of which it draws a card is a little bit different. Your opponent has to have drawn 2 or more cards in their action phase. Well, I think it's a turn actually. You can destroy it and draw a card. It's got Guardwell, which is a new keyword, where it gains minus counters to its armor, equal to the armor it had when the combat chain closes.
Okay.
And this is relevant for something like Azuri. So Azuri can shred your Balance of Justice, however that won't put any counters on it, so you will still have that block too to then use later on.
That's pretty cool. Okay.
That is basically the only difference between that and like Battle Worn, besides obviously not being able to use it twice, or Temper, I guess.
Yeah.
Because Temper is block 2 and you want to keep it around to use this effect kind of thing. But yeah, I think those would be my top 3.
This is hot picks. Pick them up. Get them all the hot. I thought we'd just discuss briefly the Calling Liverpool. It was a couple of weeks ago now. Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, probably at the time of recording it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We've had 3 weeks.
We've had 3 weeks since the Calling. No, we haven't. We've had 1.5 weeks. We've had 1.5 weeks.
3 weeks.
3
weeks is my time.
Yeah. Good event. Great event.
Yeah, great.
Lots of fun.
Yeah, Living Realms did a smash up job again.
Smash up job.
Yeah, so that's a saying, isn't it? No, it's bang up, isn't it?
It can be.
Bang up job.
It can be a saying. We'll have some chalkisms.
Smash up job is my saying.
And yeah, you got all your Ravenous Rebels?
I did. I've got the free Alt Art Ravenous Rebels to go with my free Alt Art Sigil Solaces.
Yeah.
I'm going to be making a habit of, when I go to these events to have exclusive ones, try and get free. Just because they're nice to have.
Yeah.
And also, especially if they're playable.
You can check out the vlog on the channel. I didn't play that much Flesh and Blood.
It's not really a Flesh and Blood vlog. It's
more
more
like a travel vlog.
It's more of a
Liverpool's
what
great.
doing in Liverpool for a weekend.
Liverpool's great. But yeah, you can check that out on the channel. And you got some footage of the cosplay contest as well.
Yeah, I love doing
really
that.
good standard of cosplay.
I think I'm getting known for that now.
Yeah.
I think everyone sort of.
Your Twitter
I get a lot of followers when I start posting.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
That's good.
But yeah.
So yeah, highlighting that community as well. So that is also on the channel. Congratulations to Defuncts for winning that one as well.
Yep.
Spoilers.
Originally a Peterborough.
Yeah, he's from Peterborough. Yeah,
He's in Liverpool now, but you know.
Yeah, so great weekend. Obviously, Heavy Hitters was the feature set. Who was the eventual winner of the Calling?
Oh, I don't know his name. I know.
I'll pop their name on screen.
Pretty sure Liam Holland came second.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because I then beat him in an RTN. I mean, great for my elo. It was a UK player, I believe.
Yeah.
Or at least a European.
Yeah. I think it was a UK player. I can't
Pretty sure it was
remember
UK.
who it was. And obviously Rob Catton winning the Battle Hardened on Prism.
Yeah, my best friend.
Yeah. So you've been playing Prism since.
Yeah.
So congratulations to those guys. Yeah, really good weekend. Road to National season started.
Yeah,
we've had the first weekend.
We've had about, I think, 5 now, 6 in the UK.
Yeah.
Like Ireland and England.
Yeah. You can obviously see Baz the Bard's meta report. He does a really good job of kind of rounding all that data up and stuff and reporting on that. So we're not going to cover that, but we're going to
Gives
cover.
us a shout out.
He does give us a shout out as well. Good old Baz. But we're going to talk about your road to nationals this weekend specifically.
Yeah.
So talk me through it. So you played in 2.
Did play in 2.
Saturday.
So Saturday
You
we
hit
were
the
up
road.
in
Where
Sheffield.
Sheffield.
Good old 2-hour drive.
Up in Yorkshire.
Yeah. We had 30. I thought it was 34. Turns out it was 35 players. Really wide field of just different decks. We've got Levia, KO. There was a Kano. There's always going to be a Kano.
There's always Kano at the minute. It's doing well.
Kasai, Dory, obviously Dromais, Bravos. Really, the meta right now is really open. We played 6 rounds of Swiss. Good old 6
Good
rounds.
effort.
I went 3-0 in my first 3, playing
It's a good start.
a Dory, a Levia, and another Dory.
And you were on
And I was on Dromai.
Dromai, obviously.
I only play Dromai at competitive events.
Yeah, it's not strictly
I might
true.
play something else at Mana.
Strictly true.
But yeah, I did play Kasai for Battle Hardened
You did play Kasai at Battle Hardened, yeah.
because I wanted to throw it.
Didn't want to give away your tech.
Yeah. So, play Dromai.
Yeah.
Standing order is in the deck, as I said earlier.
Yeah.
Card overperformed because I'm playing Big Dragon. Obviously, most people who've been playing aggro, and obviously anyone playing Big Dragon was seen as a fool. However,
An outcast
I
by the
thought-
Dromai
I looked at this.
collective.
Yeah, I looked at this format and I thought, okay, well, Guardians are big,
Yeah.
Brutes are going to be big. I wasn't expecting them just to be too popular,
Yeah.
even though it is the UK. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to take something I'm safe on, something that a deck where I don't have to wait for tome to come around. I can just play my cards. I know eventually I will see the cards in my deck, place my game plans, and eventually going into top 8.
Yeah. Nice. So all of Swiss, you went what, 5-1?
I went 5-1. I lost to the player who came first in Swiss. So in top 8, I had my mate Michael
Yeah.
on Kasai, which is, unfortunately for you Warrior mains, is almost an auto loss. We did go pretty close to fatigue, but I still had loads of cards, loads of arcane damage to melt out the arcane and just kill him eventually.
Yeah.
It's just a case of while he's clearing my dragons, I'm just putting more out. And a Rake the Embers is only going to put out one more dragon than he can get rid of.
So you're stacking Rake for that second cycle.
Stacking Rake, stacking Burn, stacking Azraeli.
So you're just
Dromais.
chipping. You're just doing a little bit of chipping, mainly blocking.
Yeah, showing
And then
like
you get into
breakpoints.
second cycle, and then you're like dragon, 3 Ashwings, dragon. You know.
So pull your block 4s in the first cycle,
Yeah.
and then second cycle is just you just play them out, and they can't kill them as fast as you can get them out.
Yeah, nice. And you executed that. You got past Kasai.
Yeah.
So you're into the semis.
Yeah,
and you've got your place at
I got
Nationals.
my RTN qualification.
The first time of asking, you're straight in.
Yeah, definitely
Pretty good feeling.
different from last time where I got it at the last RTN. But yeah, into top 4, I got a Axe Dory, who I had beaten Swiss. He was my round 1 actually.
Right. Okay.
It was nice because this is the same guy who was playing Viceroy at my last RTN.
Right.
Where I beat him in the last round of Swiss to get in. We both got into the top 8.
Yeah.
However, we then had to play each other again in the top 8 of last RTN, where I knocked him out again. A guy called Tom.
Right.
So he was like, all day he was like, yeah, this guy's my nemesis.
Yeah.
We met again in top 4, so at least I wasn't knocking him out of nationals this year.
Yeah.
However, because we had played in Swiss, he knew what I was doing. He knew my game plan. So instead of bringing 1 Nolrune, he brought 2.
Right.
So it's the first game where I've had to remembrance a Tameltai to kill both Nolrune. The game took about an hour and 15 minutes, and we were playing quite quickly.
Yeah.
I hard pitch stacked because obviously it's Axe Dory with a Dawnblade,
Right.
so he doesn't have much go again.
Yeah. Okay.
So
he's just trying to farm counters a little bit on Dawnblade, or not so much.
So he can't really farm counters because the Axe build doesn't have much go again.
Okay.
I think there was about, I want to say 12, maybe 15 cards that gave his weapon go again.
Right.
However, the difference there is that he also gets to play a lot more poppers. So I knew from Swiss, because he had told me after, that he was playing 9 poppers. So I was counting them going down. They remembrances them back in.
Yeah. It was kind of him to give you those.
Well,
hints.
he didn't know he was going to play me in top cut.
Yeah, I know.
And we played a very long slog. And at one point, I had 3 burn them alls out on like a grand, like if you add all the counters up, probably about 20 counters.
Jeez.
Like I think one was on 8, one was on 6,
Where
and
the
then
heck?
one was on like 3 or 4. And I'm just spent the entire game blocking efficiently, playing like a dragon to poke some damage through,
Yeah.
and then just stacking all my arcane. And I'm waiting for Tumulti. I saw both Remembrances before I saw Tumulti. Played it, killed Norone. Now I have to wait for the Remembrance to get back. Play a Remembrance, shuffle over Tumulti back in. Now I have to wait for the Tumulti to come back around and play it again.
Jeez.
So it was very long. It was very close. I think when I started hitting him, he was on about 30 health.
Right. Okay.
And I was on about 7.
Yeah.
But he died eventually.
But as soon as you got the stack,
Yeah. As soon as you
just
get
too much for him.
just get rid of Noreen and you start playing dragons and blocking efficiently.
Yeah.
And then
Nice.
hit the finals. Had a guy called, I believe it's pronounced Ashken.
Yeah. I don't know why you're looking at me.
I can't
literally
remember
no
how to
idea.
pronounce his name, but I believe it's Ashken. He is a very good player. He has topped loads of times. Really good on Katsu.
Right.
And there's the matchup, Katsu. It's
Not
like,
ideal
for aggro. It's like
Yeah.
winnable.
Yeah.
For Big Dragon, it's almost an auto loss.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, he came in for about 30 damage on one turn,
Wow.
and I survived it. And then I died.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you can't really do much after that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Fair. So anyway, second though,
Yeah,
in a field of what you say, 36,
35.
35.
Loads of top players.
Yeah.
Rob Cadden,
Yeah.
Lila Green,
Yeah.
Matt Duggan, who got top 8.
Yeah.
Liam Holden.
Right.
Got,
So pretty stacked.
Yeah.
Stacked room as well.
Yeah.
Well played, man. Very
Thank
good.
you.
Proud of you. Nice. So yeah, nationals ticket stamped, ready
Yeah.
to go.
Wherever it is.
So
London.
rest of the season, what are you doing? You're not going to bother. You're not gonna...
So played one on Sunday because it was too late to cancel. And
Yeah,
it was like,
yeah.
I might as well. It was at Loughborough, which is like our second locals, and me and Ian go there all the time. Didn't do as well. I went 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw over 5 rounds.
Yeah.
The draw was against Levia, who I'd beat the day before on
Right.
Saturday. We were in that really late game. Did have some pitch stack, and he had gone into Levia redeemed instead of consumed, which is where I fatigued him on consumed the day before.
Okay.
So he kind of built on that and played redeemed.
Yeah.
We went to time, and I could see him doing the maths, and he's like, "Well, I'm not going to concede because I think I've got game," and I'm just sat there with a bunch of 4 blocks, like, "Well, I'm just going to block it out, and we'll take the draw."
Yeah.
Then I lost to Jason Wolf, who's a really good player, really well known. He said I had obviously only won over RTN that weekend, but he said I'd been the best game he had that weekend.
All right.
On through RTN, which was a big
The
compliment.
best game.
It was really close.
Nice.
It literally came down to the last turn in time.
Oh, okay.
And then my second loss was to a mate called Darren, who
Darren Hazelwood.
Yeah, Darren Housen,
Yeah.
who I had planned to concede to anyway because we were on a testing group.
Yeah.
But he beat me anyway.
Yeah.
Beat me in just the last turn of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Cool.
still a decent performance from the deck. I think
Yeah.
the deck has proved this point, and I'm very confident of
Fair
it.
dues. And we'll do a bit of a deck tech on your Big Dragon deck. We'll do that in a separate video though, but
Yeah.
there'll be link in the description and up in the corner, so you can follow that. Cool. So successful Road to Nationals season for you. I'm not playing in any Road to Nationals. Just really awkward timing for me. Just can't get to any. Life gets in the way sometimes. Yeah. No, it's just one of those things for me this year. It seems the timing of Road to Nationals seems to change. Like if they could just keep it at the same quarter
Nationals
or
is,
the same. Do you know what I mean? So that we've got some ideas.
Nationals has come a lot earlier this year, I think. It's it's like June.
It would help if they
June
kept
or
the
May.
seasons kind of reasonably similar, like in the same quarters or something within a few
Yeah.
weeks. Just kind of help people out with scheduling, because it's a bit tricky when they kind of just spring it on you that all of a sudden it's Nationals build up and
It also sucks if you're playing 2 card games. You got to manage 2 different tournament seasons.
you
like
have
me.
that problem, right? So so it's a bit tricky. So yeah, it would help if they just kind of stuck to where the seasons are going to be. I know they're kind of still feeling that out really, but
What can you do?
what can you do? Okay, so generally then, the state of the meta currently. So we've had the first week of Nationals, Road to National season. You've played a couple. What do you make of this current meta game?
So everyone went into it thinking KO would have been the outstander,
Yeah,
the biggest winner of heavy hitters.
yeah,
To be honest, the meta hasn't really changed too much from our last meta, besides opening up a whole lot.
We've got loads.
I've
of
noticed that
different
there's loads of different decks in the format. Every deck has every class has some gas.
Yeah.
Every deck has some gas.
Mm.
Obviously, we've got some that don't see any performance,
Sorry,
like
Teklo.
Teklo, Riptide. But
Yeah,
there was a Riptide that went X2
Riptide's
at Patriot.
Riptide's
He
alright.
came, I believe he came 9th.
Yeah.
So he barely missed out on top 8.
Good effort.
Which I would have loved to have had him in top 8.
Do you know who it was?
No, I can't. I don't know the guy's name. We'll put it on the screen so we can check.
Yeah.
Check.
Check that out.
Yeah. But yeah,
Okay.
no, like a lot of decks have game. Obviously, you got Kano, which is just a case of if people stop respecting him, he just rears his head.
Which
I
he has
hate
done.
Kano.
Which he has done this week, right?
Yeah. Won
He's
17
yeah.
nationals, I think.
Yeah, people just getting punished for.
Yeah. People going to be putting Norwin back in.
Yeah. Really interesting meta game. Really diverse. Feels like everyone's kind of got game.
They really do. It's nice to be in such an open format where you can just play what you feel comfortable on, and as long as you have game plans into the other decks,
Yeah.
you can even beat your bad matchups. As long as you got a plan, you stick to it.
And I think that's something to be said, actually. Like, you know, if you're comfortable on a deck and you know a deck, picking the right deck isn't necessarily about picking the meta deck. It's about picking the deck that's right for you. And I think you did that this time because you've been messing about with other stuff. And
Yeah, I've been playing.
actually,
I've been playing Kasai.
You went back to Big Dragon, and yeah, it's what you know, it's what you do well. It's your comfort pick as well as much as anything. You just know it.
I know the value. I can play it quickly. You know, I'm not going to time because I know exactly what I'm doing every game. I know I just play to it. And it's down to my opponent to make up the time, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So yeah, fair play. Good meta game. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's a good meta, I'd say.
So we've kind of had heavy hitters now for a couple of weeks. Looking forward to the next set. Okay, we've got Pro Tour LA in a few weeks. There's probably going to be some announcements there. What are you anticipating for the next set of Flesh and Blood?
Whispers I've been hearing have been Mysteria, especially with the game coming to Japan.
Yes.
Which is a huge market.
Yeah.
Obviously, Japan being basically the card game capital of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like so many games come out of there.
Yeah.
It's very hard to get your game in to Japan. Easy to get it out. Hard as hell to get it in.
Yeah.
But
it seems to be doing pretty well. We've got the Japanese language launch with the next set, right? Yeah. And Mysteria. There's been a few hints at Mysteria being the basis of the next set, so that'll be interesting. Are we going to go back to talents, do you think? We've had a long time without talents. I think the design team are in a better place to be able to design the game with talents included now. Do we think we're going to see some Mysteria-based talents?
It would be interesting to see if they go for it. The first obvious one would be a new talent, Wind.
Yeah,
I think it's a bit of like
all those. Think about those old combo lines.
Yeah, out of the elements, it seems weird that we've missed Wind, especially when Katsu is the Lord of Wind.
Yeah.
So I think like a new Katsu that is
Wind Ninja,
elemental ninja would be really cool.
Maybe, yeah.
However, they might save talents for the return to Aria.
Because Aria is. Aria is not the only place for talents because obviously you got Solana with the light and Demonistry with Shadow.
And Volcor,
it could be elemental, but wind based. So you got access to all those elemental cards, some of which are based from Aria. But I don't know whether Mysteria and Aria are close on the map. They're kind of linked in some ways by this kind of flow of energy and this kind of mystique. Not the flow, but this kind of mystique. And it might, it's kind of
I think the issue there
kind of works.
I would be very surprised if going forward we see dual element heroes again. So obviously we had Oldhim, Briar, and Lexi, who obviously had 2 essences, which obviously made a 3-class set. I think that was a mistake.
I think we can
overall. Aria has obviously all 3 Aria heroes have rotated out. Briar is Briar have Blitz? I don't believe she is.
No, she's not out of Blitz.
So Briar,
Lexi's now Blitz.
Briar and Lexi are still in Blitz, but obviously all three are out of CC.
Yeah.
We also have Icelander, who is out of CC.
Yeah. She's not dual element.
Not dual,
but yeah.
But like Ice was definitely. I think the heroes they chose to put Ice on were a mistake. I think putting it on an Ice Wizard was a good idea in concept. Obviously, being able to disrupt the opponent, giving them frostbites. The issue there is you combine it with arcane damage, which is already semi-unpreventable.
Already attacks almost. Yeah. So you're taxing twice.
So like, yeah, you're taxing your opponent twice, and an old him who, you know, already Guardians already like can be a tanky class.
Yeah.
Now you're giving them disruption with the ice cards, obviously more protection with earth cards. I think if we do see talents, we'll be seeing them single essence.
Yeah,
so
I think
like
yeah.
We could see obviously an essence of Wind Ninja. I've heard a lot of rumors about a Ice Ninja.
Oh,
I've heard James White kind of tweeting like, yeah, an Ice Ninja would be pretty cool.
Ice Ninja, yeah, wicked.
But yeah, we at the end of the day we need replacements for the Aria heroes in CC because those card pools are currently locked out.
Yeah, so elemental, but could be different elements that could leave ice behind, or pick it up with something different, which is, Ninja's classically quite an aggressive class.
Lightning Ninja as well. To go with that, like because lightning cards are quite quick and aggressive.
That might be a bit OP, but I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see what they come up with.
Depends. Yeah, I'm sure. Like this, the designs of the last few sets have been pretty outstanding. I think so.
They've definitely got better.
In LSS, we trust.
Yeah.
And I think the design team are in a much better place to kind of balance elements now, and be able to work with that and make a success of it. Really looking forward to seeing what comes out of Pro Tour LA in terms of spoilers and things like that. Should be fun.
I think we'll get the name.
It's funny, isn't it? Because we've literally just had not literally just, a couple of weeks of heavy hitters, which we're really enjoying, but already we're like, what's over the horizon? What's next? Like,
I think the thing
can't help yourself.
The issue is obviously spoiler season goes on for like 2 months because you have a month, a month and a half. You have a month and a half of trickle of usually like the heroes, a couple of like big cards, and then obviously you have like a weekend of everything. Yeah. And then you're left to play the set, and then by the end of that you're like, okay, well, what's next?
Yeah.
It's just a lifestyle of card games. You're always looking to what's next.
Yeah. They've got us, man. They've got us hook, line, and sinker. We're in. We're all in.
I love it.
I think that's about all we've got. Anything else you want to kind of add, talk about, chat about?
Well, I think
Flesh and blood related or otherwise.
I need to give a shout out to the good old taxi driver, Ian/Amy.
That taxi driver. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you're a taxi driver as well, but you're.
Well, no. I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting one. I haven't taken you to Sheffield and back and all over the country, but
Ian and Amy.
I was like, is this some like random Uber driver that you're going to give a shout out to? Okay,
yeah. They're always driving me to the events. Yeah. I could get to some of them myself, but some are not accessible by public transport easily. So Ian's always there driving. And
then you make top 8 and spend an hour and a quarter beating Axe Dorian.
Yeah, I forced them to
they both
wait
fall
around,
asleep waiting for you.
But yeah.
Anything else you want?
No, I think I'm good. Just go and watch the deck tech on the RTN Draw mode.
Yeah, do that. Hope you like the content. If you do, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.